الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعد محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبع بلسان العابدين. إخوة الأفاضل السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome to the North Brixton Islamic Cultural Center for another episode of our weekly sessions here in London. With me, I have my humble Sheikh Dr. FAISAL BOADI, as usual, who will be telling us lessons learned and then, of course, teach us with regards to the topic we're going to talk about today, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. What we're going to talk about today, the topic is how to prepare our youth for the future. How to prepare our youth for the future. So we would like everyone's attention and decorum focus to learn from these beautiful lessons. Bi'idhnillahi ta'ala, in collaboration with this topic, we will look at bi'idhnillahi ta'ala Surah chapter 18, Surah Kahf. So if you have the Quran now, please do open Surah Kahf chapter 18. We'll be starting inshallah from verse 9. The topic is how to prepare our youth for the future, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Surah 18, Surah Kahf, chapter 18, verse 9. As usual, I will recite the verses that we're going to look at tonight, this evening. And I will explain to you the nutshell meaning of these verses. Thereafter, I will pass the mic to the able Sheikh Dr. FAISAL BOADI to tell us lessons learned. Surah 18, Surah Kahf, the surah that you recite every Friday. And we're going to start looking at verse 9. I'm going to recite the ayahs now, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أم حسبت أن أصحاب الكهف والرقيم كانوا من آياتنا عجبا إذ أوى الفتية إلى الكهف فقالوا ربنا آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا فضربنا على آذانهم في الكهف سنين عددا ثم بعثناهم لنعلم أي الحزبين أحصى لما لبثوا أمدا نحن نقص عليك نبأهم بالحق إنهم فتية آمنوا بربهم وزدناهم هدى وربطنا على قلوبهم إذ قاموا فقالوا ربنا رب السماوات والأرض لن ندعو من دونه إلها لقد قلنا إذا شططا هؤلاء قومنا اتخذوا من دونه آلهة لولا يأتون عليهم بسلطان بين فمن أظلم ممن افترى على الله كذبا وإذ اعتزلتموهم وما يعبدون إلا الله فأووا إلى الكهف ينشر لكم ربكم فأووا إلى الكهف ينشر لكم ربكم من رحمته ويهيئ لكم من أمركم مرفقا وترى الشمس إذا طلعت تزاور عن كهفهم ذات اليمين وإذا قربت تقرضهم ذات الشمال وهم في فجوة من ذلك من آيات الله من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. Allah says, أما حسبت أن أصحاب الكهف, do you think that the companions of the cave والرقيب كانوا من آياتنا عجبا, do you think that the companions of the cave and those of the inscription were wonders amongst our signs? إذا أول فتية, remember or behold when the youth betook themselves إلى الكهف, to the cave. They went to the cave to protect themselves from the atrocities that the unbelievers were about to punish them actually. Allah said, إِذْ أَوَّلَ فِتْيَةُ إِلَى الْكَهْفِ, behold when the youth they betook themselves to the cave, فَقَالُوا, and they said, رَبَّنَا, O Allah, آتِنَا مِن لَدُنْكَ رَحْمَةً, bestowed on us mercy from you, وَهَيِّئْ لَنَا مِنْ أَمْرِنَا رَشَدًا, and dispose our affair for us in the right way. Subhanallah. Allah said, فَضَرَبْنَا عَلَىٰ آذَانِهِمْ فِي الْكَهْفِ سِنِينَ عَدَدًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put them to another sleep, or otherwise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said here that He drew a veil over their ears. And then that happened, obviously it happened for years. They were completely unconscious. ثُمَّ بَعَثْنَاهُمْ, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought them back to life, to conscious. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought them back to life. And Allah said, ثُمَّ بَعَثْنَاهُمْ لِنَعْلَمَ أَيُّ الْحِزْبَيْنِ أَحْصَى لِمَا لَبِثُوا أَمَدًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought them back for them to be conscious of the two parties, to know. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to know of the two parties which one was the best at calculating the time of the years that they have been spending in that cave. نَحْنُ نَقُصُّ عَلَيْكَ نَبَأَهُمْ بِالْحَقِّ. Allah said, I relate to you their story in truth. إِنَّهُمْ فِتْيَةٌ آمَنُوا بِرَبِّهِمْ. They were youth that have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They believed in their Lord. And what happened? As a result of that, Allah said, وَزِدْنَاهُمْ هُدًى, and I increased them in guidance. وَرَبَطْنَا عَلَىٰ قُلُوبِهِمْ. Allah said, I gave them strength to their hearts. In other words, I strengthened their hearts in faith. إِذْ قَامُوا فَقَالُوا رَبُّنَا, when they stood up and they said, our Lord, رَبُّ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ, is the Lord of the heavens above and the earth below. لَن نَّدْعُوَ مِن دُونِهِ إِلَهًا. They said, Never shall we call upon any other false god besides Allah. We never call upon anyone other than Allah. لَقَدْ قُلْنَا إِذًا شَطَطًا. They said if we did, then we should indeed have uttered an enormity. In other words, they've done something which is false. Yeah? Enormity. Now, Allah continues in the next ayah. He said, هَؤُلَاءِ قَوْمُنَا اتَّخَذُوا مِن دُونِهِ آلِهَةً. These are the people who have taken, besides Allah, false God to worship. لَوْلَا يَأْتُونَ عَلَيْهِمْ بِسُلْطَانٍ بَيِّنٍ. If they could only bring evidence to their evil deeds, clear evidence. فَمَنْ أَذْلَمُ مِمَّنِ افْتَرَى عَلَى اللَّهِ كَذِبًا. There is no one who is wrong in speech than the person who invents lies upon Allah or falsehood against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَإِذِ اعْتَزَلْتُمُوهُمْ وَمَا يَعْبُدُونَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. Allah said, and remember when they turned away from them, they were running away from people, the disbelievers from this town. The Sheikh will explain to you, I don't want to go into details. Allah said, they tried to take shield from them. وَمَا يَعْبُدُونَ, and also as well avoid the false things, the things that they used to worship besides Allah. وَمَا يَعْبُدُونَ إِلَّا اللَّهِ. And then Allah says here, فَأْوُوا إِلَى الْكَهْفِ يَنْشُرْ لَكُمْ رَبُّكُمْ مِنْ رَحْمَتِهِ. They said to themselves, betake yourselves in the cave, enter the cave, for you to be protected from the atrocities of these people. By doing so, your Lord will bestow His mercy on you. وَيُهَيِّئْ لَكُم مِّنْ أَمْرِكُمْ مِرْفَقًا. And He will dispose your affairs towards comfort. Should be prepared now. No, I think we should be prepared now. Within the next 30 seconds, I want all of us to choose who will be the speaker, whether it's 1, 2, 3, let's know. And I'll pass the mic to you as we start. Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبع بلسان الدين. My respectable brothers and sisters in the deen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. MashaAllah, welcome once more again to the second part of this night's episode. We are going to look at, as I stated earlier on, myself and the Sheikh, that the theme of the topic today, or the session today, is how to prepare our youth for the future, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And with that, questions were thrown to you, and we want answers or solutions to them. The first question that was given to the youth themselves was, what are the problems facing the youth? What are the problems facing the youth? And they're going to tell us a few. Everyone has maximum 5 minutes, not more than that. Inshallah, you can do less, no problem. Please do stick within your time period. And then also as well, we're given the mothers at the other side and sisters that what are the causes to the problems facing the youth. And at the far end there as well, we're given to the other group who are the role models of the youth and why did they choose them to be their role models. And the last but not the least, we gave to the fathers and brothers is, what are the solutions to the problems facing the youth nowadays? Without much ado, I'll pass the mic now to our dearest youth of this generation in this center. Can you get a mic for me to them? In this center to tell us the problems facing the youth. Please, let's listen to them attentively. Now it's your group. Yes, start. Tell us, what are the problems facing the youth? That's fine.
The first three. Knife crime,
Okay.
gangs, and social media.
Knife crime,
Gangs
gangs.
and cyberbullying.
Okay, they said. Okay. Is knives crime?
Gangs,
Knives crime, gangs,
social media, and cyberbullying.
okay, and cyberbullying. Okay, now they said the first one is knives crime, gangs, social media, and cyberbullying. Okay, what else? Explain.
Single parents.
Single parents. Yeah.
Growing up too fast.
Okay. Go ahead, go ahead.
Racism.
Racism.
Appearance.
Appearance.
Violence. Education disparity. Materialism.
Hold on.
You what?
Education disparity and what? And what?
Material.
Materials.
Drug addiction.
Bro.
Teenage pregnancy.
Period.
Shifting economy.
Hey, hold on. Yeah, I can't do short time right there. That's good. Okay. Drug addiction and teenage pregnancy and shifting economy. Hey. Love that.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay.
And education disparity.
Yeah, education disparity, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, those are the problems you find.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you get a mic? Okay, thank you. Now we've heard from the youth, young ones. Do you have anything you think the youth are facing these days that they haven't mentioned? Anything? Tell us something. Get a mic? Yeah, no, they've said it, but they haven't said yours. Tell us. Two of you, tell us, what do you think you're facing? You're worldwide now. They're listening to you and seeing you. Tell us, what do you think? You're serious? What do you think you're facing?
Say it.
Say it.
Say whatever you want to say. Say whatever you think is you're facing. Even if you say it, you say it again. Say it.
Oh, you, but the youth, what do you think, huh?
Shyness. Okay, all right.
Popularity.
Popularity. What else? Okay, say it, then you give me the mic. Say it.
Discrimination.
Discrimination. Yeah.
Yeah, racial.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, as we've just heard from some of the youth who are present here today, they said the problems they are facing is crime, knives crime, right? Where we are now today in England, and you have guns all over around, you have social media problems, technology, phones, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Instagram, and what? Facebook.
Kids that have Facebook, that's 18 and above.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so now they said cyberbullying as well. peer pressure, they bully them just to do things they don't like to do. And they have as well single parenting issues. SubhanAllah, even the children, they are sensitive. Single parental issue. Whereas the parents are divorced, maybe the children are living with the father or the mother. That has a very huge impact on them. And they mentioned something, growing up too fast. Wow, mashallah. And racism. Yeah, racism. They face it as well. And their appearance as well. They said this is one of the problems they are facing. Violence and the education disparity and material things as well. They want to live like their other friends, whatever they have smartphone, they have this, they want to have it too. And drugs addiction. Some are addicted to crime, to drugs. They don't have it, they're desperate to get it at all cost or every cost. And teenage pregnancy as well, they said. And shifting economy. That's a beautiful term. Shifting economy. Suffering from financial difficulties. Now, they said popularity, want to have that sense of belonging within the society, and discrimination, whatever it is, and these are the problems they are facing. Now I will pass the mic to our dearest sisters and mothers there to tell us the causes of these problems.
Actually, we have some similar list here anyway.
Okay.
And we've got the major one, which is peer pressure. Yeah, under peer pressure, we spoke about discrimination, influence, rival, competition.
Hey, you're going to give me the list, huh?
Yes.
Oh, okay, then that's fine.
Okay, right.
Yeah, no, say it if you like.
Rival, yeah. Rival between two, competition. And we also spoke about poverty and financial issues.
Yeah, continue.
Oh my God, I'm calling this. Yeah, God, let's see. When I'm sorry, I will pass it. We talk about self-esteem, lack of confidence, family background, social class, culture, traditional beliefs, parenting, and the biggest one is social media and government policy. And drugs as well. Anybody want to add something? Just stay down there. Don't go. Is there anything I'm missing you want to add?
Okay. Anything else? All right, can you pass the mic? And the list if possible. I think if I'm not missing, you remind me. It's fine. What I gathered from the other group, the sister said they have peer pressure is one of the causes of these problems the youth are facing, and rivalry as well. And she mentioned about poverty, which is very, very important these days as well, and self-esteem, family background, and also as well they talk about social class, and they talk about the culture. Culture as well has, you know, something to do with it, the problems they are facing.
We have one more.
Religious? Okay, religious beliefs.
And also human rights.
Oh, human rights. Yeah, human rights consciousness. Okay, also religious beliefs, human rights, consciousness, and clash of culture. And then they said traditional belief. And we have, they said you have the two major factors that contribute to these, the major ones they specifically pointed at. is social media and government policy. Social media and government policy is a very big discussion. Probably we'll enlarge on it in this inshallah next week. So if you don't mind me, my dear, if you can take this one to me, for me to the back, the mic, we're asking the next group as well to tell us who did, do these children or these youth or young adults take to be their own role models, and why do they take them to be their role models?
Assalamu alaikum. Okay, and we're doing what difficulties the youth face. First of all, they don't.
No.
Oh,
Another one.
Okay.
Who do they take to be their role models?
Yeah. Okay, the role models of the youth tend to be people like footballers and also the rappers, musicians, all the bad language that they use, and also sports personalities, you know, and they all have one thing in common, which is they want to make, they all have money, and the youth want to follow that, you know, methodology of making money. What they fail to realize is that it takes time and patience to do that. It doesn't happen overnight. But unfortunately, the youth don't understand that. They want to have everything now, quick. So when they can't do it, you know, the proper way, they want to steal the money so that they can get it. Whether they're stealing from their parents or from the bank, whatever, they will do it, or join in the gangs and the cultures, so that they can have the, you know, so that they can be selling drugs and all that. So it's a fast life. You live fast and you die fast, that kind of thing. And also the video games as well, where they have, you know, where they promote violence and how to kill one another on the games, that kind of thing. Not good friends, bad peer pressures, bad friends. And also when the parents are not around for them, when they choose money, you know, when they're working, over their children, when they're not working, when they're working too much and not spending enough time with the children, single parenting, domestic violence in the house, and law and society. There was a time when, many years ago, when the children had too little rights, and now they've got far too many rights. So, you know, so you can't tell the children what to do. If you try to tell them, no, don't do this, don't do that, the children want to say, no, I want to do what I want, I'm old enough, but then, it's all government policy, that kind of thing. And, you know, and the problem with that is they never seem to think about the consequences until it's too late. And also, the deen, you know, if they don't have Islam in their household as well, and also the culture that they follow, the cultural background, the schools, also their friends, and whether they're, you know, like the cyberbullying, social media, and also the area that they live in, the location. The location is very important because it can affect how you behave and the kind of friends that you mix with. Also the phones and the computers, all to do with social media, the bad things that you pick up. Sometimes if they're in the house with a computer, they spend more time on the computer looking at social media, Instagram and all that, rather than instead of spending quality time with the family. And also for designer clothing, you know, the same thing, they want to have the best. If their friend has it, they want to have it too. And if they can't work honestly for it, they'll go and steal for it, that kind of thing. So we also concluded that the best role model should be Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then after that it should be good parents, and parents should be a good role model for their children, so that the children can see their parents as a good example to follow.
Okay.
So that's very important, inshallah.
Inshallah, can you pass me the mic? Thank you very much. Inshallah. It's good. It's amazing. Thank you. MashaAllah. And I think we've just heard from the sister telling us that the role models of our youth today, and why do they take them to be their role models. And she precisely mentioned the footballers. They have the names, they know all the names of the footballers. They can tell you the whole team. They can name the whole team of Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool, but if you ask them about one Sahabi, they don't know the name. And the rappers as well, those who rap. And they said they don't just rap, you know, like they rap not sandwich actually. Yeah? The bad words, they say, swearing, You see them, they keep going in the streets as if they are mad. Go, 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 like that. So those are the role models. And the musicians, I'm telling you, it's like they're crazy. Someone is, God forbid, swearing at someone, and they are dancing. Yes, swear at me, swear at me, swear at me. You see? And then they have false personalities as well. They copy them out of ignorance. And they said one of the reasons of this, because they want quick money. Live fast and die fast, young. So that's the one. They want today, I get my future, because that one is driving which car? Which is the best car? The most expensive car? Lamborghini. You see, they will tell you. I don't even know it. They will tell you now. Lamborghini. Now they will tell you, I want Lamborghini now. Now, because they want that quick money, you see those footballers and others, musicians, have those false personalities. They want to be like them. They want to build their future today and live today and die whatever it takes, you know, whatever comes after that. And then they mentioned one of the reasons as well is games, this gaming thing. And parents sometimes, they don't care what kind of games they brought to their children. These games that have violence and etc. And they get addicted with it or today. And what happened? They started thinking how to hold the gun tomorrow, how to hold knife, how to have that sense of belongings within the society. And bad companionship, friendship. They said friends, bad friends. And too much involvement in jobs, working, the parents, they work. How many shifts? Parents, sometimes they work day and night, wallahi, they don't have quality time with their children. Day and night. Someone will be working just to build one house in Africa, and they will die before they enter the house. Wallahi, and the children, they go astray, and at the end they keep calling, Sheikh Faisal, Sheikh Yusuf, please, my children, they've gone astray, pray for them. Pray for them, you already finished them. Why would I pray for them? Now, they said the other problem occurs, you know, role model. Why do they take these ones to role model? Is as well too much rights for the children. They know their rights more than you know. See, they tell you, this is my rights, this is my rights. And the deen, lack of the proper deen in the household. A lot of the parents, I don't want to say most of them, they don't have deen in the house. There is no Islam at all. So how would the children become proper Muslim? And as well the schools, where they go, you have to know why you choose that school to be. Yeah? The environment you would allow your children to spend 24 hours, because that's what I would say. When they come home, it's only a few minutes they have for time, hours. And the environment is society, the community that you live. And likewise, social media. Spend more time on the phone, television, program, and the parents, in fact, they will be sitting there, they said, I'm waiting for EastEnders. All the time. They will not set their time for anything except EastEnders. I'm not saying don't watch it, I'm not saying it's haram, don't get it right. It depends what you're watching, can make it haram or not. And then they said, designer clothing, mashallah. They want to be designers, role models, go there, do, they snap, you do like this, 10. Do like that, 10. And they don't eat, you starve yourself just to be slim like me. Come on, don't starve yourself. I'm telling you, if you want to starve, then fast. You don't do that. So they said these are the causes. May Allah save us from this fitna. And now, without much ado, I go to the fathers as well to tell us what are the solutions to these problems.
Assalamu alaikum. We've come to some solutions that we thought might address some of these issues. First and foremost, we said education. The education starts at home, because when the child is born, not only the language that is going to speak is taught to him by the parent, but even the mannerism of him trying to get to work. You educate him about manners, how to behave as he goes up with people, with his own peers, with elders and with community, how to interact. Because with this education, it will be a guidance for the child to know where he is going and what is expected of him. Then we go to the next stage of training for the youth. The youth of today, there is a notion that they think that only academic education is superb. That is being a doctor or engineer or pilot, some of those sorts. They forgot that the doctor has to work with a tool, and someone has to make that tool. The pilot has to drive a plane. Someone has to make that plane. So with all these things, vocational education and some meaningful training is needed for the youth to make himself useful in society and to benefit not only himself but the community. And the third aspect, which I think has been mentioned by all the other groups, is parental guidance. The parents should in fact be the first role model for the child, because when the child is growing up, the first people around him is the parent, and all the perception is absorbing at that early age, because as scientists have proved that the child learning is then in the earliest age. He absorbs everything. If you're speaking bad languages all around the house, even the child doesn't speak at the time, he absorbs it in his mind and imitates that, because children learn by imitation. So the parents should be a guidance whereby not only behaving in a well manner in front of the children, but must try to maintain a disciplined house with some sort of solution or hope or guidance towards useful life. One other aspect I think affecting society.
Sorry, I think it's the mic. Sorry if you can stand there. Sorry about that. Forgive me. Yeah, it's because under the speaker. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I think one other point that's affecting children, especially in this part of the world, is this single parenting. You find most of the children, even with two parents, it's difficult. Let alone you have one parent. I'm not condemning a single parent, because somebody is trying very hard, because whatever parent is always trying to get the best out of the child. But the time is limited. They are human beings. You want to upkeep the household. You want to get an income. And with this society, a capitalist society, you have to put more hours to get more income. And they find out that they keep on working, even 12 hours is not enough, and they work overtime. And what they do to say that really they have love to their child, they will leave money on the table with a note, this is for your fish and chips.
Yeah.
So when the child comes from school, he doesn't see the parent, he sees a note for fish and chips. So he take that money and go out for fish and chips. And going through that fish and chips, interact with outside world. And he knows that if he comes back home, he's going to be lonely, because there is nobody there. So he has to hang around with friends, from one thing to the other. So parental guidance and single parents have a very big effect on the child. Another aspect we come on to is social activities. idle mind is the devil's seat. Social activities involve the child to engage in something that will amuse him, and in that amusement learning some sort of skill. It's not only a game of fun, but a game of learning which tells you how to do things and to think properly. Like for instance, that was proof in the case of when the first BRIXTON riot took place in 1983. One of the reasons they found out that these children were free and have nowhere useful to interact, hence the creation of the BRIXTON Recreation Center. The next aspect is rehabilitation. The rehabilitation, because this is an aspect which I myself got a personal experience, that we went out to check with some of these boys who are young boys who are hanging around as drug peddlers. We met them not in official capacity, we met them to interact and talk to them face to face. When they gain their confidence in belonging to not only to their family, but to the community and society, you engage them by having some sort of social activity like outing or football games or some sort of sports that they will come there, compete with themselves. They feel happy, they interact with people, and they discuss there. And because of that interaction and discussion, something might pop out of the blue, which maybe is bothering them inside. And by that way, it will come out to the open in an easy fashion. And the other point we said was to give them hope. Because if somebody is doing anything, if you have no hope, it's hopeless, it will make no effort. So you give them some sort of hope. Look, if you make some effort, at least you try and do this and this and that. In my own case, I'm going to give you a certain thing that is due the parent or individual. Two, if the society itself encourages children with some sort of hope, like not being political, the government of Tony Blair and Mr. What do you call it? Gordon Brown, they introduced two schemes which was very important. One was the education maintenance allowance. What was that? It encouraged children that as long as you attend school for the whole week, you never absent, there is money for you at that week. So it made children not to be truant. So you know that, oh, at the end of the week, I'm going to get some money. So it goes to school instead of hanging around. And the other thing it did for them was, it created a bond for any child that was born from 1998 to 99. There's money that is kept for him in the bank, and money is added to that bank until he attains the age of maturity, which presently they said is 16 to 17. Well, it gives him hope to say, oh, as I grow up, I'm going to get something. Because, as these students just point out, discrimination and disparity in society, you have people who come from privileged class, they don't have to make effort. Even when they go to university, they don't have to look for housing. Their parents go and buy a house for them and live there. They don't have to scratch their head to pay rent. They don't have to scratch their head to pay transport. It's provided for them because their father or their parent can afford it. Once with you now, the struggling parents, you cannot even feed the house, let alone go and buy a house for them. And then when they tell you, oh, yes, I have to go to university, you said, okay, yes, what is the cost? You said this, you said, okay, wait, hold on. You'll be holding on because you're thinking of how to fund that money, right? Which was before, it was a grant. You're giving a grant to education fees and maintenance for anything, and then you are giving additional money spending allowance every year. So you don't have to put a burden on the parent, nor does the parent have to think too much of that. So that difficult constraint and stress is making these children, as they said, going fast, because the demand on them is faster than what they can think. So the other thing, as we said, to spring up in life, you give them interaction and belonging and hope. And most importantly, without being religious, if you are a Muslim parent, from the child, even not able to walk, as I said, you try to impart the religion in him, some sort of religious life, guidance and discipline of the religion. Assalamu alaikum.
Amazing. My dear brothers and sisters in the deen, I was expecting that from the fathers, because the fathers have to be fathers and they have to look after their homes, and they are the primary custodians of the homes to protect the family, the wives and the children. I'm not going to go deep, I'm just mentioning them very brief and then go to the Sheikh inshallah, because it was well explained to all of us. That was a very good delivery. May Allah reward you for that. What I got from the brothers and fathers, they said solutions to the problems. First and foremost is education. And they said when we talk about education, the education starts from the home. You start in the home to teach your children how to behave to people, and this only not just getting them engaged, but also as well to teach them about mannerism, how to behave to people, how to behave to peers, their elders, and the community as a whole. So we say normally charity begins at home, but you find out the parents themselves, sometimes they don't have a role model. So how do they expect the children to have role models? Also they mentioned, they said parental guidance, which is very, very important. Now you need to guide your children. He explained that in detail. Not only, they said when people use foul languages in the house, he mentioned something which is very, very important. He said even if the child does not speak, say things, they don't know how to talk, but they absorb the words. It sticks into the instinct and mind and the brain of that child. So all of a sudden they might say words that you do not expect them to say, because you've already impacted the mindset of that child. And they said single parenting, and he said he's not condemning a single parent because they try very hard, but to keep up the home, the house, the cost of living in this country, the world where we live, it's a very challenging one. So if one is a single parent, he or she has to go and find their cost of living or source of sustenance. So with that, I learned something new. What they do, they put money on the table and write a note. Come, go, this is for the chicken and chips or whatever you want. So when they go out, they know mommy and daddy is not home. So they stay with their friends. They got involved into sort of things. May Allah save us from this fitna.
Amen.
It's so sad. Allah is so sad. And they said what we need to do as well is to have social activities. It's very important, because idle mind is the seat of who? The devil. So shaitan sits. When the mind is idle, that's where they do all kind of things. So they need to have these ones to gain education and amusements. Not only amusements, don't take them to gain amusements, but let them learn as well something from it. Not to just go and have amusements. And he mentioned about the first BRIXTON riots and what the center they had there, the recreation center, and how the impact was. And he mentioned about rehabilitation, especially those drug peddlers. You know, if you have this rehabilitation, it helps them, to interact with them, share your problems, share your thoughts with them, let them have that hope. And he mentioned about those ones who go and do shoplifting. May Allah save us from that one, because stealing, when you steal someone's property, you give them Yawm al-Qiyamah. Very dangerous. Don't steal. Never you steal. And youth engagement as well, because they need to have that sense of feeling or sense of belonging in the society. When they feel like they lack that sense of belonging, they go somewhere else and get it. And they said, let's give them hope. And he mentioned something very important about, as he said, he's not being political, but at the time of Tony Blair and Gordon Brown, they introduced a scheme. And out of this scheme is the education maintenance allowance. And that is, if you attend, you have your full attendance, you don't absent from school, you have an allowance for that. So that makes all the children, every young adult, youth, they attend. Their attendance is amazing. So when that one was taken away, that caused a big problem, especially those who did not come from a very privileged family. Not going into details. And finally, the final one here, or the last, not the least, and he said he is the most important one. That's why they ended up on that, and that is the deen. When they lack the deen, they lack all manners. If a Muslim grew up their children without introducing the deen to them, they gave them nothing, wallahi, and you will be questioned for it yawm al-qiyamah. Kullukum ra'in wa kullukum mas'ulan ra'iyati. The Prophet said, each and every one of you is a shepherd, and you'll be accountable for your flocks yawm al-qiyamah. May Allah save us from the punishment of this world and the hereafter. Without much ado, with this wonderful thing, I will pass the mic now to Sheikh, inshallah, for him to come in, inshallah. Please, inshallah.
MashaAllah. That is very interesting. I think, inshallah, next week you will go more details about it, because it is very, very important issue or topic. It is not only in this part of the world, but all over the world. So you must know exactly what to do. Because the first thing that you had with the topic, what was the topic? What is the topic?
What is the theme?
The theme
The topic today.
of today's.
How to prepare a youth for the future.
How to prepare the youth for the future. Okay. Now, why is it how to prepare the youth for the future? Why did you not say that? How do I want my child to be? Is there any difference? Huh?
Do you understand it, yeah?
How do I want my child to be?
Yes. Yes.
Is there any difference?
Yes.
No, I don't see any difference, yeah? Do you?
Yes.
Can you explain that?
Yes.
Do you understand it, yeah? The topic,
How
the
and
theme.
I want.
The theme is, one second. The theme is how to prepare the youth for the future. And then another question comes into this. How do I want my child to be? Is there any difference? No. No difference. Okay, you said there is difference.
Yes.
Precisely, tell us, precisely.
This is an interesting thing we must understand. To prepare a youth for the future is different than what I want my child to be.
Okay.
Everybody wants a child to be a good child in the future, but some parents aim at something different. They may say, I want my child to be a doctor. That child may not have the knowledge. So if you plan the child to be a doctor and you push him to that, he may be a failure. But if you prepare a child for the future, you don't know what is the future, but make sure that the child has all the ingredients that can make him to be aware of all the good things in the future and the bad things, so that he can know what to choose and what his capacity could be when he's grown up. So that is the difference.
That's good. MashaAllah, that's good. Anybody else? Okay, yeah, can you take the mic to Auntie?
That is very good, MashaAllah.
What's the difference? Yeah, let's go.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think there is a difference, even though it might not be so significant. So, wanting some...
Okay, I think it's the mic. Sorry, the speaker. I mean, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. Now,
wanting something specific for your child might lead the child astray, in the sense that, like Uncle said, I would want my child to be a doctor because we think that's where the money is, or an accountant. That is our own choice. And the child would listen to that. But growing up would find a whole lot more in the market that are much better and a lot easier to follow. And so if you want a child to follow a particular path, you do not necessarily have to tell the child the path the child has to follow, but be a communicator. Communicate with the child, have respect, listen, be a good listener, exchange with the child, be a companion. Teach the child how to be a good human who would stand up in community and be counted. Do not dictate to the child, I want you to be this, I want you to be that. As we were brought up back home, our parents wanted, you have to be a teacher, you have to be a nurse. So you grow up forcing yourself to follow that path. But preparing somebody is to give them the wider knowledge of, as best as you can, what society have to offer. And do not, by telling the child, I want you to be this, is telling her, there is no failing in this house. But failure is part of life. Prepare the child to embrace failure as well as success, and how to embrace failure. Failure does not mean falling and never getting up. Listen to the child and encourage the child, so that when the child fails, the child will come to you because you can listen, because you are the person who can direct or would help to dissect all the problems they are facing, than dictating to them what to do and what not.
MashaAllah. Okay. Yeah, I want to say a quick one. Okay, very quick one, precisely. Very quick one.
Just summarize. What you want for your child is just a list, like a choice. I want my child to be a doctor or teacher and everything. And preparation is the way you work towards what you want. It's like, I would say, the plans, the solution to what you want.
Wow. I love this parenting. This topic is amazing. You know, as we see it, or the Sheikh have said, next week will be more of the spiritual side of it. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala. Today we've heard from you, your inputs, which is very important. But before we go to, in fact, without much ado, I would go to the Sheikh straight away. So we utilize the few minutes we have, and then inshallah we will resume on this topic next week for the Sheikh.
MashaAllah, that's very pretty. You know, it is very important questions and so forth. But don't forget, the most important thing you have to ask the child, because things are changing in the world nowadays, isn't it?
Yes.
Before, what people used to think that this is the main thing that you have to do, nowadays it has been changed. So what are you supposed to do? The question you have to ask the child, what can you do to help the society? What can you do to help what?
The society.
The society. Because now all what you have known before is the car has what? Petrol or what? Diesel, isn't it?
Yeah.
And now somebody sat down and said, look, what can I do to help my society? Because according to them, this thing is causing a lot of what? Pollution, isn't it? So what can I do? And from there, I was able to think about something else, and that is
electricity.
yes. So that our Sheikh Boy Kamara, when he is driving the bus, he will not cause a lot of pollutions because some people they have asthma, isn't it? And it will. Yeah. By the way, you will cut it here because you are going for Salat al-Isha just now. Muazzin will be giving azan just now, inshallah. And next week, if Allah will give us long life, inshallah, you will discuss peace and life.
Okay, we come into the end of the session today, this episode. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it from all of us. We expect to have the youth next week, more of them. And then inshallah we will listen from the Islamic point of view. We all know that the solution is the Quran and Sunnah, right? All the solutions we are looking for is in the Quran and Sunnah. So this is what bi'idhnillahi ta'ala the Sheikh is going to explore on next week, if Allah makes it easier for us. Jazakumullahu khairan. May Allah reward you all. Keep smiling. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik. Wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Nastaghfiruk wa natubu ilayk. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.